So in this video, I'm going to talk about how my artists make consistent sales with no website. Yes, you heard right, no website. And I say consistent sales, so I mean month after month, year after year, decade after decade, century after century. But seriously, how my artists go from 0 to 10 and even $20,000 and $30,000 per month without using a website. And you're gonna learn these tactics and strategies here. So definitely hang around. By the way, my name is Jeroy Henry, and in the past 2 years, I helped artists sell over $2 million worth of artwork. 2 million with an M online, and most of those sales happen without a website. And in this video, I'm gonna share exactly how we did it. You're gonna love the content, and if you are loving it, definitely leave a like, subscribe, and do all that other good fancy smashy stuff that YouTubers tell you to do. With that being said, let's get straight into it. So you see, I'm gonna tell you some hard facts here. A website actually converts at less than 3%. What does this mean? This means that you have to send 100 people to your website to get 3 sales. And one thing I understand for my artists, we don't have the luxury of having hundreds of people going to our website to make sales. So we must take advantage of every single opportunity that come our way. With this being said, we do not send people to our website. Yes, we do not send people to our website. So let's actually talk about this a bit. You see, believe it or not, actually a lot of big successful artists don't send people to the website either, unless it's absolutely necessary. By necessary, I mean if it's like a print release or a big event happening where you have to get access through the website. For example, let's take artists like Cause. If you go on Cause website right now, as you can see, there's absolutely nothing to purchase. Some of these other artists are like James Jean. His website is treated more like a gallery. When you go on his website, you can see a ton of his works, but you will not see pricing and you will not see artwork for sale. This even includes artists like CJ Hendry that have hundreds of thousands of followers online, but on their website, you cannot purchase anything. Why? Because in the art space, artists that are really successful understand that in order to get someone to purchase your work, they must communicate with you as the artist, or at least someone from your team. They want to know exactly why you created the artwork, what the artwork represents, what do you stand for as an artist. And when you send someone to your website, yes, you could write an autobiography or about page, but it still wouldn't convey that amount of detail and wouldn't be able to resonate with that buyer how you can in a direct conversation. So instead, what these bigger artists would do is they would just have their website where their artwork is displayed, and you would have to contact them via email to land the sale. Now, in my case, I don't have my artists operate in this way. Instead, we use social media and we leverage social media. But how do we take someone from being on social media to them actually purchasing an artwork if we don't have a website? It's super simple. Extremely simple. All we do is that once we're on social media, we'll get into conversation with someone. That will typically start in the comments. I do not recommend reaching out to someone first because it comes off as salesy, and you don't want to be salesy. The quickest way to lose a sale is saying anything salesy. So instead, we let them come to us. People will say, hey, I love your work. It's beautiful. How much do it cost? Is it for sale? You're so talented. And then phrases like this or comments like this will lead to a conversation. Now, keep in mind, they came to us. They show interest first, so they're more likely to purchase in this case. Once they leave a comment and they show interest in your work, then you have the right to take that to a conversation. In that conversation, I always recommend having a very genuine conversation. I'm gonna say it again. Sales kill sales. So do not be salesy in any way, shape, or form. Be very genuine. So what I have my artists do in this case is begin to build a genuine relationship. And once you're building that relationship, that person will start to think, this person is actually really cool. I understand a lot about their work. I understand why they create. I'm interested. And then once they gain interest, only then, I repeat, only then you have the right to sell your artwork. You see, in these conversations, people are thinking about a ton. They're trying to understand why you create, What's the reasoning behind this specific piece? How does this piece resonate with them? And in that conversation, you should be communicating these things, not in a salesy way, but just in conversation. I'll give you an example. Let's say you created a painting about the beach, and a person say, oh, I love your beach painting. You may respond and say, thank you so much. The beach always been a fascinating place for me. Being by the water just seems so calming. Now, you may think it have nothing to do with the sale, but the ideal buyer will begin to relate to that. And they will respond and say, oh my God, that's me. I love the beach. And then you could say, yeah, that's why I focused on the ocean in this particular painting, because I understood that the ocean is literally the most calming part. And I thought it'd be cool just to have a beautiful piece in someone's home that conveys calmness and relaxation, which I think everyone needs. And then a person would instantly start to think, that's me. I love this piece. I love the beach. I love to be calm and relaxed. It's a beautiful piece. And then you could take that conversation to the sale. Now, what I mean by taking the conversation to the sale is not saying, hey, you want to purchase? Instead, you give them the option to purchase. So one thing I have my current artists do is I let them ask the artist if they're interested before you attempt to sell something. And it simply sounds like this. Hey, just curious, I know you love this artwork, but if I was to make an amazing offer on this piece, can you actually see yourself owning it? Keep in mind, this is not salesy whatsoever. You asking the honest question. I could tell you love the artwork. If I was to make an amazing offer on this work, can you actually see yourself owning it? If they say no, that's completely fine, and you guys could still continue to build that relationship because they may come back and purchase later. If they say yes, then now you have permission to sell. And if they say yes, they're more likely to purchase because they already agreed to being interested in buying your artwork. And then at that point, you want to proceed to selling your artwork. Now, you may be wondering, Troy, but what if they say yes and they decide to purchase? What should I do? At that point, I have to send them to my website. Here's the thing. If you send them to your website at this point, I will repeat, you will lose the sale. Why? Because they're going to go to your website and they're going to see all these beautiful artworks you have. And then they're going to become distracted and they're not going to purchase. You may even had this happen to you. You probably had someone interested in purchasing your artwork, and then you send them a link to your website, and the next thing you know, they disappear. Well, this is why they disappear. It's not because they wasn't interested in purchasing your work. It's just simply because they got distracted and they forgot all about it afterwards. So they never went back to your page. So instead, this is what you do. You should be sending them an invoice directly to them. I use PayPal. I have my artists use PayPal. There are a couple other payment gateways, but everyone is really familiar with PayPal and they trust it to at least some extent. So you could use PayPal, and you should send them a PayPal invoice directly to their email. At that point, you could say, hey, I just sent the invoice over for the payment. You can let me know once it's paid, and I could get that artwork shipped out to you immediately. And at that point, they would just make the payment there, and you could ship the artwork to them. It's that simple. And you may be thinking, I feel this is a bit unprofessional. And I would tell you, it's not. And the reason is because everyone do it. Everyone use PayPal. PayPal is one of the highest used companies or payment gateways today. And believe it or not, but this is how people prefer to make payments. It's just seamless. It's simple. It's easy. That's why people use stuff like Venmo and Cash App. I do not recommend those two, only because I think there's a few flaws in those two gateways. So I would prefer PayPal, but you can use either. It's up to you. With that being said, follow these steps to actually make sales without a website. You see, when you have a website in place, it only creates friction because there's more steps someone have to go through to make the purchase. The easier it is to make the sale, the more likely you will make the sale. Make it very, very simple for the person to purchase. Do not give a ton of options. Do not send to a website. Have a conversation, send an invoice, collect the payment, ship the artwork. That simple. And if you do that, you're gonna see yourself selling way more works. I have artists once again that do $20,000 and even $30,000 per month applying these same tactics to sell their artwork consistently without a website. And even if you have a website, I will say as a little bonus, remove your pricing so that could lead to more conversations to close more sales. By the way, my name is Jeroy Henry. I'm the founder of Artist Rise. In the past 2 years, we helped a couple hundred artists sell over $2 million worth of artwork. And if you're here, you're going to get a ton of value. So definitely like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And then even if you want to talk to me or my team, hit the link somewhere. You have to go find it, and you can schedule a call with me or my team. With that being said, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.